it's Old Man Coffee. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Well, I haven't put up a video for quite a while. Been a little over a month, I guess. Last video was Valerie's birthday. Yeah. Been very busy with installing a 12-volt air conditioner in my RV. I've always wanted to spend some time out in the desert in the summertime, boondocking, but very difficult to do if you have to run the generator 24 hours a day just to stay cool with the AC. So I decided to do some research and install what I think is the best 12-volt air conditioner for an RV or a camper or a vehicle, whatever you want to put it on. And that's the COUNTRYMOD 12-volt AC system. But before I can install the AC unit in the roof of my RV, I had to make some renovations, some changes to the inside. I actually have two AC units. There's one here and there's one here. And my roof is a ducted fan roof. In other words, these AC units are ducted through the roof into the bedroom area, which is back there, and the bathroom area. And then you can open the vents, these vents on the side, right here, and of course there and there, to allow the air to come into the main room, but it's ducted through these vents. So my roof is about 5 inches thick. But the changes that I had to make started with this flooring through the hallway here and all the way into the bedroom. This was all carpeted. All this area was all carpeted in here. And I took up all the carpeting and put down this flooring. It's a vinyl flooring. And then I put a rug in here, which I think looks pretty nice. I also put the flooring in the bathroom area and put molding around the edges there. So that makes that look a lot nicer. The biggest renovation I had to make was there was a door right here and a wall. Now this is the door and the window that I took out of that wall. And you can see this molding I put up here to replace that where the door was in here, and then that short wall was right up in here. And here's the AC unit that I installed. I installed that where there was a 14 by 14 roof vent here in the bathroom. And this is the roof vent that I removed from the bathroom. It's a 14 by 14 hole. And the COUNTRYMOD AC fit in that 14 by 14 hole perfectly. Now the reason that I went with the COUNTRYMOD 12-volt AC, I did some research, and the OUTEQUIP 12-volt AC conditioner is the equivalent of this one, of the COUNTRYMOD. But in the research I did with all the videos, I found that a lot of people ran into a lot of trouble. So I got a little short video here, and there's a link in the description below for the full video of a guy who ran into some problems with the OUTEQUIP 12-volt AC conditioner.
Well, everyone, bad news. I got to questioning the way this thing was built on water leaks, so I done a water test real quick, and we have a leak. I'll see if I can show you guys what's happening. So I just used the water hose to spray just enough to kind of simulate a heavy rain, and now I have a wet mattress where water ran out right here. I don't know if you'll be able to see this insulation that they have you put in if you peel it back, you can look right out there, and that light you see is actually the condenser up top. And what I feel like is happening is, hold on, I'll take you out and show you. So as you can see, we've got the seal on it under there, and the spacer back there, the seal. But what is happening is, hold on, the condenser, let me see if I can, there it is. The condenser you can see down in there is actually inside that gasket under there. You see here's a gasket. The condenser probably actually comes up to right there, so any water that is going in that hole past that gasket is able to just run inside the hole in the camper. I don't really understand what they were thinking with that design with all the holes they have in there, but we are about to pop it back off there and see what's going on with it. Something ain't right. Here's my gasket with the reveal, and the gasket was pre-formed, basically in a square this size already to go around a 14 by 14 opening, which is what the unit is built for. I'll show you on the air conditioner unit what was going on. Here's the unit. You can see where the gasket was on the front of the unit and where it sat. And you can see the foam insulation that I had where I put it on from the inside. And the gasket, hey look, it balanced. And the gasket actually went all the way down here and went across somewhere in this area and then back up. Now you might be thinking that I could have just slid the unit where the gasket was set right in here and seal. But no, that would require the unit having to slide back, and then that would make the gasket up in here somewhere, and well, that's never going to work. So water just comes right in here, run right inside my camper, where that gasket run across right here.
COUNTRYMOD actually has a website, and they have a full video on the installation of the COUNTRYMOD 12-volt AC system. So there's a link in the description below that if you click on that link, you can watch the full installation of the COUNTRYMOD AC. Now, I didn't run into any problems at all installing this COUNTRYMOD. Even with the thickness of my roof, the one thing was the longer bolts. I had to use the longer bolts, but that's about it. Other than that, it was great. Also, one of the things that I liked about the COUNTRYMOD was that you had the option of running the wires to your battery through the interior of your RV, or you could pull the wires out of where they were going down into the vent. You could pull those wires out and you could route them down through a hole and have an external power supply. They supplied you with 15 feet. 15 feet was just enough for me. I'll show you how I routed the wires from the roof down to my power supply. Well, because of the size of the wires, I couldn't run them on the inside. I had to run them on the outside, which is pretty convenient. And I ran them through this electrical conduit. And it runs all the way down this conduit. And here's the negative wire, and this is the positive wire. It has actually some shielding around it. So I'm going to go inside. I'm going to open up the door here and show you how I wired it to my power supply. This is the door to the generator, and you can see the wires coming down through here. Here's the negative, here's the positive. I've got them tied off right here, and they run inside the generator. And this is where the power comes in. This is the power coming in from the batteries in the RV. That's a double-aught size wire. This is the positive wire here coming in from the AC, and then this back here is the negative wire is right back here, and it's connected to the bottom of this, which is the negative. Now, one other upgrade I had to make was to the battery bank. I only had, for my interior batteries for the interior of the RV, I only had a 125 amp hour battery. I had to increase that to a 300 amp hour battery. That's very important. Now, a 300 amp hour battery, I can run this AC on a 300 amp hour battery for about 8 to 10 hours, depending on what temperature I set it at. Well, you're probably wondering, how well does it work? Well, we'll turn it on and I'll show you. I have it set at 64 degrees. 64. Now it has a soft startup, so it's kind of nice, real quiet. And I have the fan set at all the way, and I can control that with the remote. All the settings are right here on the remote. You can set everything on the remote. Now, the reason that I installed the AC in this vent is so that I can close off this bathroom, and it's sealed pretty good. A little bit of a gap down at the bottom down there, but I can seal off this whole area, the bathroom area and the bedroom area. Seal that off, so I'm only having to cool this area. Now you're probably wondering, well, how noisy is this thing? Actually, it's pretty quiet. And of course, a lot less in the bedroom. 42. Okay, but you're probably wondering, well, does it blow cold air? Yes, it does blow nice cold air. The only thing I have to check it with is a meat thermometer, and it's showing that it's 91 degrees in here right now. And it's dropping a little bit because the AC's been running about 5 or 10 minutes, maybe not even 10 minutes. 90 in the room right now. Showing 54 degrees coming out of there right now. But you have to understand, the air going in there is 91 degrees and coming out 54 degrees. So it has a lot to do with that. And that's pretty good considering it's cooling that air down about 40 degrees. Well, you're probably wondering, how much power does it draw? Well, right now it's on a standard cool mode, and I've got my Victron Smart Shunt and Smart Solar controller here. As far as my solar system goes, I have a 400 watt solar system on top of the roof that it's just mounted flat. Alright, so we'll open up the charge controller and see what the solar panels are doing right now. So the solar panels are putting in 250, average 250 watts. So 250 watts right now with clear skies here in Nevada. Okay, now we've got the Smart Shunt. It will tell us what it's drawing. Batteries are at 95%. And the power being drawn is 475 watts. That's on standard cool. And according to this, if I leave it on standard cool, it would run for 6 hours and 40 minutes before my batteries were down to 10%. I have the threshold set at 10%. Now the unit has a eco mode right here. Eco. So I'm going to put it on eco mode. That's eco mode. Right away you can tell that the fan and everything reduced everything down. So let's see what kind of power draw it's drawing on the eco mode. Okay, now it's on eco mode, and you can see it dropped down considerably. It's only 275 watts, 271 to 69. It's bouncing around. But that's 20 amps. Big difference. Now it's showing 10 hours on eco mode. So once I got that room cooled down, I could switch to eco mode, and that would lengthen the time that the unit would run quite a bit. And the batteries are still at 95%. Let's see what the solar panels are putting in now. Solar panels are putting in about 250 watts. So putting in about what it's taken out. So that 10 hours could be extended quite a bit. Now, it's been a little while, and it's drawing 252 watts, and the solar panel's putting in 250 watts. It's actually recalculated. I can run for 12 hours now, and that will keep updating. I would imagine it would probably update quite a bit. With a 300 amp hour battery, that computes to about 3,800 watts. So off the top of my head, that's going to run for a good 12-13 hours. Now you're probably saying, yeah, but old man, what about all the other things in your RV? What are they going to run on? They're going to run on this Mango Power E. And if you watched videos on this that I've done, you know that this is powering everything in the RV. This has about a 3,500 watt hour battery capacity and runs the whole RV, TVs and everything for quite a while. Right now you can see it's at 100%, and that cord there with that yellow thing, that's powering as a 30 amp cord that runs back and powers the whole RV for microwave, TVs, water heater, everything I need. So I have actually two systems. I have the 300 amp hour battery for all the DC stuff in the RV, Mango Power E to power all the AC stuff. And the Mango Power E has its own solar system, own solar panels to charge it. So it's separate from the solar panels that I have that charge the 300 amp hour battery for the DC air conditioner and all the other DC appliances within the RV, lights and things like that. So I have two independent systems, DC system and the AC system. So in closing, be sure that you do your research before you purchase a 12-volt air conditioner for your RV. Mostly what I found with the competitor was people were having trouble with the installation. And as you saw by that one video, actually had a water leak because of the seal. That was the main problem that people were running into, was the seal. Also too, you couldn't wire it on the inside of your RV, only on the exterior. The COUNTRYMOD AC actually allows you to run it on the inside or the outside. So that's about all for me right now. So I'll see you next time.